Mr. Smith is a Year 2 teacher who is passionate about education. He has been teaching primary school students for 3 years. Mr. Smith is teaching in a small primary school within the Wollondilly area. Students have returned to school for the beginning of the year. As each student enters the school gates, they all bring with them a virtual school bag. The virtual school bag is a unique aspect students bring from their home life into the classroom. It is important for Mr. Smith to know what is in each student's virtual school bag, as it is full of knowledge they have already learned at home, with their friends, and in and from the world in which they live. Teachers tend to form the notion of a deficit discourse of students as they read students by their intelligence levels. Deficit discourses generally involve students who lack something such as values and support required for them to engage within the content at school. It is believed that the greatest failures of teachers is that the deficit discourses are overriding inside the teaching space and staff room. Mr. Smith has noticed within his class there is a student who does not want to be at school. This student, Johnny, is disengaged within class activities. Johnny generally sits at the back of the classroom and stares out the window, does not listen to instructions given by the teacher, and is getting into trouble in the playground. Mr. Smith approached other colleagues regarding Johnny's behavior and looked into his student records. Mr. Smith came to realize that he was surrounded by deficit discourses as the education system is providing inequality and disadvantages to individual students. Mr. Smith decided to challenge the deficit discourses that surrounded Johnny. He taught his students about the diversity each student brings to the classroom. Teachers must eliminate deficit discourses within the classroom environment by utilizing what each student brings into the classroom. Each student in the classroom has the equal right to learn in a supportive environment. Sadly, many teachers gravitate to the students that want to learn and overlook the other students like Johnny who are disengaged and not wanting to be at school. Mr. Smith spent several hours over the weekend thinking about Johnny. How could he implement strategies to engage Johnny into the material? Mr. Smith realized that he had to create a classroom with a positive view on education. A turnaround pedagogy. This requires looking at what the students within the room have to offer. To do this, Mr. Smith thought he ought to take the opportunity to speak with the parents of Johnny to get an insight on his home life. This discussion shed light into why Johnny had been disengaged within the classroom. His parents had recently gotten divorced, which meant his mother is working full-time to support Johnny financially. In result to this, Johnny spends less time with both of his parents and feels alone. As Mr. Smith approached the concepts of turnaround pedagogy, he could see past the deficit discourses and get to know each of the students within his classroom. This approach to teaching allowed Mr. Smith to develop relationships with his students and create a classroom where each student could feel a sense of belonging. Teachers play a significant role within this process, as those who successfully eliminate the social status within a classroom create a turnaround pedagogy. Providing this transformation allows the deficit discourses to be broken down and offers each student a quality education. Teachers are a role model to the students, therefore they must show supportive and understanding elements towards students' virtual school bags. Using this approach as a tool prompts the structure inside the classroom, allowing all students to receive the education they deserve.